Hey, it's me, Nick.
And me, Casey.
And we are with Outdoor Adventure Club. We are floating with our canoes on the Conneaut River. I'm gonna do a little camping. We have landowner's permission to get some camping in. We're gonna do a little bit of a float. We got here a little bit late today. We got here like at 3 o'clock. So we're gonna get a little bit of fishing in, see what we can do. And then we're going to set up camp. But should be a good time.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's cold. It's mid-November, but it feels more like January, and it's going to be really cold tonight. So we'll have a pretty good little fireside chat on what kind of gear we brought today, what our tactics are, and what we're thinking. I guess we'll save some of that for later.
Stay tuned.
So Nick's found another good run here. We're going to hit it up here as the sun kind of goes down. So Nick, what's our plan?
We're gonna fish right here. This is a deep pool. And then you're just gonna work it there right now. And then it shallows up there. So this water right here is gonna be good. And then see this water right here, Kate? Here. Like that's epic right in there.
Okay. So we didn't mention this in the intro, but, well, we kind of said it was cold. What this is, Nick and I are actually out here playing a game, and it's called The Floor is Lava. Except instead of lava, it's water. And you can't touch it, or you'll die. You get hypothermia. So that is one of our, it does make moving quite a bit slower. And you gotta be real careful where you are, because if we go in, we've got all kinds of safety gear and backup clothes and dry bags and everything, but still, like, it's probably close to 25, 30 right now. It's supposed to get down to 20 tonight. And the water temperature, I think, is mid-30s. So if you go in, it's cold, and there's going to be like real problems. So this is definitely makes it a little bit more interesting. We have both tipped our canoe on this creek in the spring when the water was warmer and it was nicer out. So it's just kind of playing a little floor is lava. Don't touch the lava, or you get hypothermia, and then you'll die. So that's exciting. That makes it exciting. Adds a little excitement to the trip. Really pretty, really quiet. That's a nice thing. Well, that's really the only nice thing about how cold it is that it is quiet. There is no one out here. No one. The water's pretty clear too. It's not too shabby. Let's just take a quiet break and canoe for a minute. So we didn't really have time for a campfire and a fancy dinner tonight and all that kind of, my Brussels sprouts and rice, which I do have. It's my standard backpacking food. In fact, I haven't had Brussels sprouts since the Canada trip, because 8 straight days of Brussels sprouts was too much. It was too much. So instead we've got a little chicken teriyaki, freeze-dried. Not too shabby, just kind of heated her up here, and that's going to be dinner. And I do have some brown rice and Brussels sprouts, but I'm not even going to bother with it tonight. Nick has a little chicken and dumpling that we brought along here. And kind of a short day. This time of year, I mean, it gets dark at 5, so there's not really a lot of time for messing around. It's going to be 20 to 25 degrees tonight, like we talked about, and we're already seeing problems with our batteries. So all of my batteries right now are they're in my pocket here. I don't know if we can, how we're doing for lighting right now, but I don't know if the lighting's real great in here, but it is what it is. So, well, that's not good for lighting. So Nick and I both have our own little sleep systems going on. I have a 20-degree sleeping bag. It's not a down sleeping bag, although that's definitely something that I'm looking to get. That's something I definitely want to have, is a down sleeping bag. So that's an investment for the future. But what I did get for this trip was a self-inflating air pad. It's a Conneaut Static 5 self-inflating pad. It was like $30 on Amazon, so that's not too bad. A lot of these pads get pretty expensive. It's lightweight. The self-inflating feature isn't bad, but how cold it is tonight, it was I feel like it was pretty slow. But I'm sitting here in my sleeping bag right now, and it's already, I can feel my butt getting warm. So that's good. That's a good sign. So I have the pad, I've got a pretty good sleeping bag, and I'm wearing just about everything that I own right now. So I have a base layer on, which is, I actually switched out my base layer. I had a thinner, breathable base layer that I was wearing earlier, and I switched to, I have this Army surplus one that's a little thicker, and it's a little heavier. So, and it also has this balaclava that I'm wearing right now. It's all part of the sleep system here. This is what I like when it's really cold out. When I'm running around, I have my other base layer that breathes a little bit more, so if I do sweat, it kind of dries off. So I have that. I have my trusty fleece cap that always keeps me nice and warm. If you see my breath, it's pretty good right now. It's snowing a little bit outside right now. I usually wear wool hiking socks, and I switch those out. I have a heavier set of wool hiking socks that I don't usually like to walk in, but they're good for sleeping. They're thicker. They're good for like sub-zero type stuff. They're pretty heavy duty, to be honest, and they're so big that they really don't fit in my boots, which is why I don't generally wear them. So base layer, the socks, just wearing my pants. I've got a North Face fleece. If I get cold tonight, my plan is I've got a coat, a North Face jacket that I can throw on with a hood, and I might even just throw on all of my socks. I mean, if it comes down to that, or I might put on both base layers
and I also have a vest. So I feel like even if I do get cold tonight, that I'll be able to kind of like get myself re-geared up and ready to go. And I can already say that my feet were getting pretty cold, just kind of sitting around and cleaning up and stuff after dinner, which was dinner was chicken teriyaki tonight. It wasn't too bad. But now that I'm in my sleeping bag, I feel they're starting to thaw out. My legs and my butt are getting warm, which is a good sign. And that's pretty much it for the cold weather setup. I usually have a hammock that I use when I go backpacking. It's my preferred way to go. But for me to set up a hammock for this type of temperature, it's going to cost me like $1,000. And that's just too much, man. So I have my old backpacking tent, and I spent, what, $20, $30 on a mattress, and I'm good to go. So I feel pretty confident tonight will be good. If not, I'll be out at about 2 in the morning doing jumping jacks or something, shadow boxing, trying to get my temperature back up. I also have wool gloves too. I don't know if I'm going to wear those to bed. I have a light pair of gloves, and I have my wool gloves, so one of those I may or may not wear to bed. A couple things I can recommend. First, fleece is great. Everybody knows about fleece. It's a great fabric or material or whatever, but I'm a big proponent of wool. Any wool you can get into your outfit, whether it be, if you can go wool underwear, man, go wool underwear. I can't, as much as I love wool because it's a great fabric. It keeps you warm even when you're like wet, which is great, especially when you're on a river, or a creek. I'm sorry, it's the creek, Conneaut Creek. But the thing is, I'm allergic to wool. So any wool that I have, whether it be my wool gloves, which I have with me, they have to have some type of fleece liner or something that's thick enough that the wool doesn't touch my skin. My socks, I have a liner for those. And even if I wear my socks all day with the liner, my feet still like get red and kind of crappy, but they feel like really weird at the end of the day, and I don't like it. But if you're not allergic to wool, man, just wool it up. Slap a sheep in your backpack and just sleep with that bad guy, and you'll be good to go all night. So just charging up some of my batteries that already died somehow. I don't know how they already died because they were fully charged. Well, it's the cold weather. The cold weather is a terror on batteries. So I feel pretty confident. I know Nick's got a similar setup over in his tent. I know some of our friends had asked, like, if it gets super cold and you guys need to cuddle up for warmth, like, what are you going to do? Like, who's the big spoon? And Nick, who's the big spoon and who's the little spoon?
We don't have to worry about that. We'll be all right.
Nick and I both agreed that if that happens, that we're not going to talk about it. So we're just going to say that, like, if anything like that happens, okay, a little snow falling off the old limbs there, that we're not going to admit to who is the big or the little spoon. Although I really secretly feel like Nick wants to be the big spoon. I think he really wants to be the big spoon. So, but we're not going to tell anybody that. So just we'll keep that between ourselves. Tomorrow we're going to get up early. It's only 7 o'clock now. We'll probably be in bed pretty soon. The sun, which is crazy. It's the craziest thing ever. The sun went down at 5, man. It's like, well, I guess it's dark now. This is how we live. So we're going to get up early. Sun should be coming up around 7, I think. I'll have to double check here and see what that is. And we really only have about 7 to 8 miles left in our trip. I mapped it all at my GPS, so I know we have some waypoints set up of places where we want to go, places we can fish, because we can't fish everywhere. A lot of no trespassing signs, and we want to respect those landowners and also not get arrested. So that's a big agenda. As far as the the floor is lava, we did pretty good today. Nobody got wet, although we didn't go very far. We probably only did, we say 2 or 3 miles today.
2 miles maybe.
2 miles maybe. It wasn't very far, but we got out late. We didn't have a ton of time. We only really fished one spot. So more water today. We're gonna have, or more water tomorrow to cover. It's only 7 or 8 miles, which isn't bad. So we'll have plenty of time to stop and fish literally every bend, every ripple. We think. Nick thinks. Nick is the fly fishing expert. He set my rod up today like he's my dad. Like he gave me all my, here's where you put your bead, and this is the hook, and and then I got to tie it. That's about all I know how to do. So Nick set me up. He played dad today, and he got me all set up with my gear, because I'm a novice fly fisherman. I got a good roll cast. My roll cast today was pretty good, Nick, right?
You got a good roll cast.
I got a good roll cast, and you got to start small. Start with the basics, and I've got a good roll cast, and pretty much everything else is a disaster for me when it comes to fly fishing, but that's okay. We're having a good time. We're chuckling it up. We're gonna have to talk. Nick Nick was talking about how he thinks he'd make a good fugitive, but that's something we have to talk about when we have some daylight to hash that out. That was a pretty good little discussion. So that's all I got for this tonight, and tomorrow we hope to catch some nice fish. That's the plan anyways.
So it's the morning of the second day, and we were up well before the sun got up, but unfortunately all of our gear is totally frozen, and including our boots. So we started a little fire for Nicky here so we can get his boots thawed out enough. So he's got one on.
Yeah.
So we're working it. We're move this here. We're making progress. We should be on the water before we know it once we get all our stuff thawed out here and ready to go. What's nice, this is a little fishing spot right here, so as soon as we're ready, we can start fishing. My zippers were all frozen on my boots. It was pretty rough, so let's watch Nick thaw his boots out. You having fun, Nick?
No.
What part of this isn't fun?
My feet are cold.
Just your feet? That's not
Yeah.
too bad.
Sorry I delayed the start of our fishing.
It's all right. What are you gonna do? It's cold.
Yeah.
It's cold, I say. Should be on the water pretty soon. All right, so Nick's boots are unfrozen. We're gonna try and fish this spot real quick here before we take off. Nick is, we just lubed up our guide rod, or our guide rings on our fly rods. Nick will talk a little bit more about that in his video. He's got some special stuff for that to keep them from freezing. So hopefully we'll catch something here. Sun's up, but we haven't had much luck yet. Really, to be honest, there's so many people out that a lot of the places where we could fish aren't fishable. And like the waters we're in right now would probably be pretty good, but there are all kinds of no trespassing signs, so we can't get out of our canoes here. We have a couple spots waypointed and marked where we fished before, and we're hoping those serve to be a little better. Now, early in the morning, some people were catching fish that we talked to, and we saw one really nice steelhead trout. But in the last hour or so, 6 or 7 people we've talked to haven't had any luck. So hopefully we'll find a good spot where we can get out of our canoes, where trespassing is allowed and has some deeper water. Everyone that says that they've caught fish have been in deeper water. Everyone that has not caught fish is in super shallow water. So that should kind of tell us a little something there. In the background, you will see the beautiful I-90 bridge. Quite a natural sight to behold here, if you can see it with the sun there. Haven't found too many good spots so far. We're going to keep pushing on. A lot of really shallow area through here. As is traditional for my lunch, I got a little onions, some trail blowing, crackers and cheese. We're not making fancy sandwiches like I did at Burr Oak, because I don't feel like getting my knife out. Just kind of eat it as is. It still tastes the same. So you gotta get a little cheese in your mouth, a little cracker, bite of that, slide some onion in, and you just kind of made the sandwich in your mouth. Still tastes pretty good. We're still fishing this one hole here. Not a lot of luck. We're gonna get into them though, I feel it. It's starting to warm up a little bit. There are a bunch of really good spots that we have marked after here. We just want to try and stop and check this out, so maybe we'll get some fish footage today, who knows? Sure would be nice. Nobody wants to watch me eat lunch all day. Hey Nick, let's see your little dance. See your little dance you move there. It's pretty good. Don't fall in, I'll have it on video. Why don't you stop, screw around and catch us a fish?
Yeah, I wish it was. We're off to a very slow start.
Yeah, we are. Well, we're not going to catch any fish, and this is going to turn into a camping and canoeing trip. Let's get some canoeing footage. Got a fish. Let's go take a look. Oh, Nikki!
Oh, we did it, Case.
Got it. That's a beautiful fish, dude. That is a beautiful. Look at that guy.
That's nice. That's it, man.
That's it. We didn't get stung.
No, I did not. Beautiful fish. That is awesome, awesome, awesome! That is a female. I think it's a female. Let's see here. Just how that bead system's supposed to work. Get you all cleaned up here, girl. And we'll get your picture taken. Don't go crazy. I just want to get your picture taken. That's all I want to do, buddy. I know. Dang it. I'm just gonna get your picture taken like that.
There we go.
Look at that thing.
Beautiful fish, Nick.
That is a nice one. So I got him hooked here. Oops. That's not cool. I'm sorry. Didn't see that back hook on you, buddy. Hooked you back there too. There you go. Make sure all the hook's off you. I'll let you go. Take that one. That's a nice fish.
Very nice fish.
Pretty. But yeah, that's
How old do you say?
that's probably a 3 or 4 year, three year runner. That is yeah, that's what we're after, man.
How you feeling now?
I feel good. I feel good. I'm glad you called the run.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
What was your setup again?
The 2 beads, just 2 beads. So yeah, let's do it again, man. Let's
do it again.
Yeah.
So I didn't have my camera on me, but I found someone I'd like to show you. So now we've both caught a steelhead.
Yeah. You got a hemostat?
So here's Casey's fish. This is Casey's first adult steelhead.
This is awesome, Casey.
I've only caught little finger
Here, Casey, let's get a good picture of it, man. Let's get a good scan over.
Yeah.
It's a female. Casey did a great job.
Casey's pretty happy.
Yeah.
Let's do one last good picture here.
That's classic.
We'll get a still shot of that. All right, let's get the running away footage.
Let her go into the deeps of the Conneaut.
Still got a little, oh yeah. Peace out, little lady.
Epic moment in Casey's life.
That was big. That was big. That was big. Now we're both happy. We are the champ. No, that was poor. That was a poor singing voice. Hey, it's Casey here, and with Nick, Outdoor Adventure Club. Just finished up our little Conneaut trip here. Nick, you want to give a recap?
We got 2 steelhead, learned some new locations to fish, new strategies kind of in like the winter now, because we had that massive cold front, so we're fishing a lot more slower water than we're used to, but found some new spots, new water, just a really good time. So camping was first time experiencing cold weather camping, and I thought it went really good. Gets dark really quick, so you kind of have to like time yourself on these trips really well, and make sure that you're extra cautious in the cold water. But it was an amazing trip. Casey's first official steelhead, so he wasn't getting any more of those smolt that he caught last year. So just an awesome time, man.
It was a good trip. Good trip.
Yeah.
We stayed warm overnight. Our sleep systems worked out well, and we caught some nice fish.
Stay tuned. In a couple weeks, you're going to see another trip that we're doing, hopefully on the Grand River. We had one of our subscribers. They won a contest to go fishing with us and be able to camp with us. So we're going to introduce you to a guy by the name of Steven, who will be fishing with us. So it should be a pretty cool experience. I'm looking forward to meeting
Should be a good
Steven.
time.
Yeah.
About another week here.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.